Take me. Take me. What was that? An exhibition?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kids Show, and I'm going to be reviewing The Matrix Resurrections. I'm going to just try and get right into it. The first question I have for Lana Wachowski, the director of this film, is why does this movie exist? And she's going to explain that right now.
Why now? Why is now the right time for more Matrix?
Whoa. Oh, okay. Yeah, you just come out and get to ask the gigantic question that is it wasn't planned. It was not orchestrated in any way. It was just something happened in my life, and I needed to process some grief, and I really kind of needed to have all of these people around who knew my parents. And
So, yeah, she can't even explain why in a way that makes any sense at all. That is terrible. The way she described why the film exists kind of literally feels like the movie's plot itself. That's literally just what I'm going to say. As you can tell, I really didn't like this movie. I like The Matrix 1 to 3. I think that they're really good films. The Matrix 1 being one of the greatest action films ever made. Um this movie didn't need to exist. It does not justify its existence. My next question is, why is this movie rated R? The nudity is very controlled in this movie. You don't see tits, you don't see penises. Even after Neo is removed from the Matrix, even after Trinity is removed from the Matrix, they are very covered up in the areas that would inflict a R rating. The action is not really that of a rated R film. The only thing I could think of why this film is rated R is because of simply just the cursing more than anything else. The fact that cursing makes this movie a rated R just goes to show how um the people that decide the ratings of these films really do disrespect our intelligence. I don't understand why it's rated R. It should have just been rated PG-13. Um, let's get into the story. I have some notes here, man. Some basic notes. Neo's a game developer. He's in the Matrix. He kind of remembers the past, but he's not sure it's the past. He makes the Matrix games, basically about his previous life story and basically he's a widely renowned game developer that people love and respect the games of. He's being forced to to make the Matrix for the video game despite having sworn not to do so. He goes through life basically completely dead inside. He takes blue pills and he has serious mental health issues and he doesn't know if he's in reality or in some sort of fake world, obviously being the Matrix. He basically remembers the past but doesn't know if it's real type of deal. And the Matrix itself is designed to keep Neo and Trinity from being able to come together as a team. And it's, I don't know, man. This film just tries to be kind of slick when it's really not. Like it, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's kind of like it's on the nose, it's smartly written." No, Neo's character feels like me while watching the movie, completely devoid of any life at all. Keanu Reeves clearly seems like he doesn't want to make the movie, given in the first act, like he's supposed to act as though, yeah, he really is devoid of any emotion besides being completely depressed and just out of it. But even throughout the other parts where he's fighting for, to get Trinity out, he's fighting, back against the Matrix, he still feels like he doesn't give a fuck. Like he's just dead inside. You could tell Keanu didn't want to make this movie. Um, Trinity. as a character, she doesn't know what's going on. She just knows this very subtle. She has this subtle connection to Neo. She doesn't know why, and basically, she has to be brought up to speed on this kind of shit. The I don't like Trinity's character in this, and Trinity is my favorite character in the Matrix, um, and in the sequels even. They basically make, and this is like a spoiler review, pretty much, guys. I'm not gonna be like, I don't think I'm gonna get too much into details, but just putting it out there, I'm just gonna talk about what I feel like talking about. They basically make Trinity the one with Neo, so I guess they're now the two. So it just it cheapens Trinity's character. I think the main reason why I really love Trinity's character is because at any point she could die. She's not the chosen one. That's what there's a vulnerability to her character, and despite that she goes out of her way for Neo. She goes out of her way for the cause. Her life, she's willing to put her life on the line to do what needs to be done to fight what they're dealing with. And in this, like, her character is substantially cheapened because essentially she's now the chosen one with Neo. So to me that just makes her character shitty. The way they do this is by playing on the romantic connection between Neo and Trinity. In the past movies, Neo and Trinity have always like clung to each other. Like it's like this romance that they can't be apart. Like they do everything, basically everything that they do is for each other in the grand scheme of things. And that's how they play off, basically they play off their romance in order to make Trinity also the one, or in this case the two. Morpheus is a defector of the stormtroopers. Oops, I mean defector from the agents. Yeah, basically he's just Finn from uh from The Force Awakens. That was really shitty. His character sucks. It doesn't, it sucks that they replaced, I mean, I could see why they would need a new actor. I don't think any actor that has any self-respect um and been in the franchise for as for as long as they've been would want to come back and reprise um this shitty role. This is not a good role. I feel bad for the actor forced to portray Morpheus or having chosen to play Morpheus because they seem like a good actor, but this role just sucks. The writing just sucks for the character. Um, Niobe's a waste. She's there's Niobe's pointless. They spend so much time Neo and her talking, and that could have been cut down by like 10 minutes. It feels like you could have just like basically she goes over what happened since Neo is gone in terms of the real world and the people in it, and yeah, they try to make her like the chick that runs things, and she's just insufferable. Oh my god, typical insufferable female character in charge of shit. Yeah, I don't like Niobe in this, and it's just sad because she's probably my favorite character. She's definitely my top three favorite characters in the Matrix 3. So for her to basically be downgraded really does suck the way they treated her character in this. None of the new characters are memorable. All you know is the blue haired chick. That's her character. She basically has an entire crew. They could have only had her and the one black dude that basically handles the tech side of things, and they could have got rid of the rest of the crew. None of them are memorable. There are just too many characters in this movie that just have no purpose at all, and if they were removed, it wouldn't have really made any difference because like you could have removed Niobe and just have the blue haired chick basically get Neo up to speed with what happens with to Zion and how the new place came to be that they're at. So yeah, Niobe's there for nostalgic purposes. Didn't have to be there. Same thing with the new crew. None of them are memorable. They could have all been removed. There's just too many. This movie is just too bloated. too many characters that are absolutely pointless. Um, Smith and Morpheus being replaced hurts this film. It really does. Agent Smith is a very iconic villain in the Matrix franchise in action, and for them to be replaced, it's not fitting. It just feels weird. The film overall just feels cheap. The fact that you don't have the actors that you should have. Um, the writing feels cheap. It's I don't even know what to say. The film feels like it should be a TV show. Like, especially when everything just feels like a set. The characters look too clean. Like, ugh. What made Zion work for me was that it was a colony of people working to survive. You know, despite them having their little parties and stuff, there was no, like, it didn't seem like there was an economy established in order to um basically have them get out of their rags and all of that. And I don't understand this new colony that they have. It just it just feels really fake. It feels like a TV show set. It's just the writing sucks. Um, the writing has no idea how to justify this film's existence. It's the dialogue is cringy as shit. Neil Patrick Harris has to say some shit in this movie that really just sucks. Like, he's the term triggered, and it just comes off badly. Um, the way he uses binary feels very um intentful out of the film's existence. It just feels cringy, some of the shit that he has to say. When Trinity's kid fucking asks Neo if he's trying to bone his mom just because they were having a brief conversation at a cafe. It's like a 12-year-old, I don't know how old he is, but he looks like 12. A 12-year-old wouldn't ask that kind of shit, especially in front of their own mother. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Whoever, like, the writing for this is just abysmal. They the writing for this, Lana Wachowski should be ashamed of herself. Sad to say, and it's just, I mean, the when it comes to this film, there's just too much talking. There's way too much talking. There's too much setup. Like, all it is, the whole film feels like setup, and it's just none of it fucking hits. None of it feels really purposeful. It's just for the average generic fucking viewer that hasn't watched the previous movies, so they have to kind of get them up to snuff. It it's just abysmal. Um, I feel like a movie should be more intelligent than this. This movie was made for people that are still stuck in the Matrix. It's just what it is. Why? Like, the setup is so long. This movie should not be 2.5 fucking hours long. Zero reason for it. It just, you could have just cut down so much shit out of this movie, and you still would have got the same shitty movie. Maybe better. At least wouldn't have had to sit through it for 2.5 fucking hours. Not justifiable in any way, shape, or form. The action. The action is horrible. Like, what makes the original Matrix so good was that it completely innovated the way it did action, and it did it in a stylistic way. Kind of like how the Ip Man films also have a stylistic approach to action. And then it feels like the Matrix Resurrections slash the Matrix 4 basically copied all of the films that poorly copied the Matrix in its action and just decided to do modern day action. So I don't think that a Matrix film modern day could be successful in any way unless they reinvent the wheel. Like, you have to basically do what the Matrix did, but in modern day. And with the way um, directors, film, Hollywood is willing to do things in the most laziest, shittiest way possible, there's no way that's possible. Lana Wachowski is definitely not up for it. Clearly, they just wanted to do what all the other films copied from the original Matrix that her and their sibling made. That's literally how I feel about it. It's completely, it's not innovative. It's uninspired. Shaky cam in 2021 is fucking eye cancer. Why is that even still a thing? I would never expect that from a Matrix film. And the fact that that was actually a thing is like, I was shocked. It is abysmal how bad shaky cam is in this film. I would never expect that from a Matrix movie. It just goes to show that the director had no stylistic approach, had nothing really truly planned. It's There's too much talking, there's too much dialogue, and then the action cannot save it. The action is bad as well. It's just as bad as the dialogue in this film. The music sucks. The music feels like generic action flick music, one, two, three, four, five, and so on. It is abysmal. The thing that I really enjoy about the original Matrix trilogy was the fact that the music was interesting. I mean, by modern day standards, it feels very 2000s, but it's still it has it feels right. It feels right for the film. I can go back to it and still listen to it. I'm still like, yeah, this shit goes with the action, man. Like, yeah, I'm like it got you pumped up while you were watching the films. And the music in this does not add anything to the film itself. Um, there's a few things that I liked. Um, I liked when Neo reminded Niobe that she, in fact, disregarded direct orders and allowed him to use her ship in the Matrix 3. And that was really an important line, even though she kind of just disregarded that reality. Because, like, her character is like this insufferable commander or whatever the fuck that was basically reprimanding the blue haired chick's crew for having gotten Neo out of the Matrix. So reminding, I like the way that that scene went down when he reminded her of that, because I think that that was like something that made me love Niobe as a character in Matrix 3. Very important integral part of making me like her character. Um Another thing that I liked, while most of the action in this film was abysmal, I did like Trinity and Neo on the motorcycle. The motorcycle scenes where they were working together to get away from the individuals in the Matrix really worked well. Really liked that a lot. When he was using the Matrix Force to like smash the car and Trinity drives over the smashed car, that was cool. Everything else, action wise, was abysmal. The other thing that at least felt accurate, can't say I necessarily like it, was that they portrayed game devs pretty accurately in my opinion. Um they portrayed them like oh my god, I just burped. Disgusting. But they portrayed the game devs of modern day as they should be portrayed, like the woke first world problem, self obsessed, fucking loser Karens, male Karens, and they it Karens that they are. At least the way they portray themselves on Twitter. So that was pretty accurate. Everything else I didn't really like about this movie. It it's painful, man. I don't know. I don't know why this movie exists. If you did like it, man, more power to you. Cause I wish that I could like more things that come out in modern day. So maybe I actually have some fun. But unfortunately, this movie just feels like its purpose is to make me brain dead. So, no disrespect to anybody who enjoyed it. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. I just, the Matrix trilogy stopped at 3 for me, straight up. Um, yeah, definitely a very. I don't give scores to things. I really don't like to give review scores. I think that it's pointless, but this is a very low, abysmal movie. It's it's a shameful attempt at an iconic franchise. And I hope they do not pursue any more sequels because this is abysmal. This feels like a really shitty, soft reboot that tried to be smart, but really, when you take away the little slick things put in the story, written in the story, it's really not smart. But yeah, guys, sorry I haven't been making content lately. Been really busy. Personal life has really been catching up to me, trying to adjust to what's been going on. So sorry about that. My next video I've been planning for a while, too long actually. I have everything I need to make it, but I'm planning to talk about West Side Story, more so the original West Side Story, because way the sequel really tried to disregard the cultural significance of the original film, and I think it's time to remind people why the original is so important, because it is one of my favorite films. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of The Matrix 4. Hope y'all had an amazing Christmas, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had an amazing weekend. So yeah. With all being said, guys, I'm out. Peace.
It very much feels like a reunion, and I mean, I've heard you say that it came from a place of grief, but it is also surprisingly funny. It's easily the funniest Matrix movie, and was that deliberate going in? Were you? I feel like you had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, I guess I did. I've made a lot of movies with a lot of varied tones. I think that's like a part of what me and Lily do. We bring a lot of, we don't really like single-toned films, and I know they're very popular, but I kind of like a really wide range. And I thought it was like another dimension to the Matrix, another like thing to bring to the Matrix that wasn't so much there before. And